put our service ports that we talked about earlier. We put our 2 service ports in. This is where they're going to come into play during evacuation. Okay? All right, now Ben, what we're going to do, get your brute gauges, these black ones. Now, as brute gauges, you always want to check your seals on these gauges and make sure there's no splits, cracks, or anything on the seals. Okay, now we've got the service valves we put in. These have removable Schrader valves. That's why we're going to use these service valves. It gives us more options of what we need to do. So we got 2 to 5 pounds of pressure. We're going to remove the Schrader valves out and put your lines on as quick as possible to keep some of the nitrogen, keeping our system clean, tight, and dry, right? Right. We'll always have a positive flow. We're going to take these Schrader valves out and try to maintain a little bit of pressure if we can. Now these lines here have to be exceptionally about as tight as you can get it with your hand is how tight you want these lines. Okay, we've got 2 extra lines on the center. We've got 4 valves on this thing. We have 2, which are actually 2 yellow lines on the standard. We just have 2. One's a 3/8, one's a 1/4. Look on your pump, we have a 3/8 hookup and a 1/4 hookup here. So we have 2 lines of vacuum coming here. We can pull straight out of these ports here. So let's go and hook up our lines on here. All right, now these pumps here, you need, first thing, 2 things you need to do on a pump before you fire them up. Always check your oil level. Make sure you have good oil level in your sight glass. And most pumps have a gas ballast. Gas ballast, you need to open up, run for 5 minutes vacuum, and then you shut that gas ballast down. Come over here, we got lines hooked up. All 4 valves are still closed. Lines hooked up, pumps hooked up. You need to come over to your Micron tester. Micron tester, you need to let it warm up for a few minutes before you put it on the unit. Use your service ports out here, you have 2 ports. Always put on the top port, the highest port you can possibly put it on. And you want to keep your Micron tester pointing up, not down, to keep oil or anything from getting inside the electronic head. All right, so right now we have 4 valves here, the pump's off. The safest way to do it is always turn the pump on first, then open all 4 manifolds wide open. Okay. Okay, now when we shut this thing down, you want to turn the manifolds off and then turn the pump off. And break your vacuum on this line. It'll keep you pour oil from the pump into your manifold gauges. Okay? Go ahead and fire your pump up. Open the 4 valves as quick as possible. Open them wide open. There you go. Now we're going to watch our Micron gauge and try to get us a 500 micron pull.